Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks 40k channel and welcome to our latest 40k battle report. The Space Wolves are making a welcome return onto the battlefield today. It's been a little while since they've been on the channel. Today's opponent for the Emperor's Executioners are the Necrons, everybody's favourite army next to Eldar and Tau. So today's mission, we are doing Deadlock. And a beautiful former imperial city has been decimated with the rising of a crypt of Necrons from under the ground. The Space Wolves have been sent to secure strategic and important objectives on this battlefield. Will they overcome the might of the Necrons? The 6 objective markers for Deadlock today are all down, and so are deployment. So we're doing diagonal deployment today. Number 3 is in the ruined cathedral. Number 1 is on the middle floor of the ruined Mechanicum building. Number 6 is on the corner of the former Administratum building. Number 4 is in one of the old warehouses. Number 2 is slap bang off centre of the board. And then the final objective marker for today, number 5, is round the back in the ruins of part of this city. Space Wolf HQ, I am taking Herald Deathwolf on his trusty wolf with his frost axe. He is also accompanied by 2 Fenrisian wolves today. Into troops, I am taking 2 Grey Hunter squads. One is a 6-man squad with the main guy, the sergeant, with a power fist. And the next one is a 10-man squad, exactly the same. There is a power fist in there on the sergeant and also a plasma gun. So hopefully be holding me down some nice objectives. On to fast attack. I am taking 3 Thunderwolf cavalries, all equipped with storm shields. And the one guy at the front there with a thunderhammer. Next to them in elites, I am taking 5 Wolfrin, all equipped with the frost claws. Looking forward to these. I have used them once before and they weren't very good. Yeah, they need to do something this battle, otherwise they'll probably stay in the box for a little while. Next elite, I am taking a Venerable Dreadnought equipped with a Blizzard Shield and Frost Axe. He will be arriving on the battlefield from reserve in a drop pod. This thing normally acts as a deterrent and a bit of a distraction, really. Drop it in behind the enemy lines. I know it's going to die, but I'm hoping it will take some things with it before it goes, and also pull fire off the rest of my units. Third elite choice is 5 Terminators, front 2 equipped with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields, and the remaining have Wolf Claws. Lovely unit, I do like that, and they will be riding around the battlefield in a Land Raider. And that is not the only thing on the board today. The Ultramarines are making an appearance. We have a Space Marine captain with a power sword, a 5-man tactical squad, and then 3 Grav Centurions. So they will be putting down the fire on the Necrons and watching their brother Space Wolves for any sign of heresy. HQ for the Necrons, we have an Overlord on his Catacomb command barge. He is equipped with a Void Reaper, Phase Shifter and Phylactery. Over to troops, we have a big blob of Necron warriors. 17 guys in this front squad, and behind them 15 warriors with a Night Scythe in there, so always fun. Third troop choice for the Necrons today, we have some Immortals with a Night Scythe there. Looking forward to facing these guys. And there's a Cryptek in there as well with Chromatron. Fast attack, we have the usual Tomb Scarabs. I hate these things, they do my head in. They crawl over your armour and you just can't get away from them. They lock you down in combat for turns. They really do annoy me. Next, fast attack, we have 5 Tomb Blades equipped with Particle Beamer, Shield Banes and Shadow Wound. Final fast attack, we have Wraiths with the coils. These things I've faced before. I actually faced something similar at the Northwest Open, and I know how lethal these things can be. They're vile and horrible. The Necrons have also brought 2 flyers with them, acting as dedicated transports. So Knight Scythes are on the board. The first one will be carrying the smaller 15-man Necron troop choice, and the second one will be carrying around the Immortals. And then finally we have the 2 Doomsday Arcs. So that is the 2,000 points of Necrons that will be facing the Space Wolves and Ultramarines. The first of the tactical squads have deployed right on the edge of the battlefield, being joined by the Ultramarines captain. They are looking at objective 4. If I pull that card out, they should be able to run up there and securing that objective for me. Objective 6, round the back of the ruined Administratum building, is currently being held by the 5-man tactical squad of the Ultramarines, keeping a watchful eye on their Wolf brothers. So handy if I do pull that card out. Inside of the ruined Administratum building, I have my 10-man Grey Hunter squad ready to move forward. They'll be able to support the Ultramarines on Objective 6, or move up to Objective 1, or suicide run onto Objective 2 if needed. The main bulk of my force is on the right-hand flank of the battlefield. So I've got my Land Raider with my Terminators in. In front of them are the Wolfren. In front of them is Herald Deathwolf and the Thunderwolf Cavalry. And to the side of them are the Grav Centurions. So the idea is, again, Objective 1, move the Ultramarines forward up the force, up the battlefield, hopefully swinging round the battlefield and getting into combat with the Necrons as quickly as possible. With deployment for the Necrons, we have a squad of Immortals in between the ruins of the cathedral. Next to them, we have a squad of Tombblades. Now, I know these things. I know these things are quick and they are quite horrible. Behind the Tombblades, we have a normal Necron Warrior squad. Ready to, they're holding objective 5 at the moment, but ready to slowly walk up the board, annoying me as they go, I am sure. At the back of the battlefield, we have 2 Doomsday Arcs ready to lay firepower across the battlefield, laying waste to the Wolves and the Ultramarines. Next to them, we have the Overlord on the Catacomb command barge. Lovely miniature. I do like this. He's in the middle of the battlefield, eyeing up everything that he surveys. Now you can see the Thunderwolf Cavalry. You can't see a lot else at the moment. Next to him are the Wraiths with the whip coils. I hate those things. They are vile and horrible. And finally, right on the edge of the battlefield, we have the little Tomb Scarabs, which again I hate. I hate these things. So that is the Necron's deployment. The Ultramarines and the Wolves have tried to hide as much as they can away because it is Necron's turn 1. We do have the drop pod to come in, and we do have the Terminators in the Land Raider, but then again the Necrons do have 2 flyers and more troops to come in. Objectives for the Necrons this turn. We have got Reclaim and Recapture, so you have to roll a d6 and work out if you need all the odds or all of the even objective markers. If you hold all of them, you get D3 victory points. Also got Secure Objective 1, another Secure Objective 1. Apparently, Objective 1 is the most important thing in the Necron world. No prisoners, score a victory point. If an enemy unit was completely destroyed during your turn, 3 to 5 enemy units is D3, and if you destroy 6, D3 plus 3. Secure Objective 4. And Supremacy, score D3 victory points if you control at least 2 objective markers and at least twice as many objective markers as your opponent. So, with Reclaim and Recapture in mind, the Necrons are after all of the odd numbers. So, the Necron Warrior squad here have stayed still. They are hunkered down on the objective number 5. Round here, the Immortals and Tombblades have moved their way round onto Objective 3. Now, Objective 1, I think is really important to the Necrons, is here. in the Administratum building, surrounded by the Wolverine, the Thunderwolf Cavalry, the Centurions, and the Land Raider with the Terminators in. So a little bit awkward for the Necrons to get that one this turn. They are also holding Objective 2 down here. The Wraiths have sped forward, controlling them. The Necron Warlord has moved across the battlefield a little bit as well, heading down towards Thunderwolf Cavalry and these guys. And then finally, the Tomb Spiders have headed up towards Objective 4. I think they might be within 3 inches of that. So I think the Necrons have definitely got more objectives than the Ultramarines, because we currently only hold 1. But it's going to be over to Necron shooting to see how many units they can destroy. The little Scarabs have run forward, securing Objective 4, which is one of the Necron's objectives this turn, so they're definitely scoring that one. Round here, the Doomsday Arcs and the Tomb Blades all opened up at the hammer of the Space Wolves down here, killing off the Centurions, annoyingly. 2 of my Thunderwolf Cavalry guys and the 2 Wolves that were with Herald Deathwolf. Quite a few casualties over there. They destroyed a lot, but I'm hoping to get them into assault next turn and start doing some damage to these Necrons and start pushing them back from this side. So objective scored this turn for the Necrons. They got no prisoners, which is 1 victory point if you completely destroy an enemy unit, which they did with the Centurions. The Scarabs are holding objective 4, and they hold more objective markers than I do, which is a D3, but they only rolled a 1. So they scored 3 victory points at the end of their first turn. Objectives for this turn for the Space Wolves. We have got Big Game Hunter, so destroy an enemy vehicle or monstrous creature. Necrons do have 3 vehicles on the board. Secure Objective 4, that's one with the Scarab sitting on it. We have got Assassinate, 1 victory point if I kill an enemy character. Secure Objective 3, which is in the Ruined Cathedral with a ton load of Necrons sitting on it. Stuff of Sagas, score a victory point if I kill this one vehicle or monstrous creature. And secure Objective 1. So with my objectives in mind, the Grey Hunter squad with the Space Marine Captain have moved round. They're looking at opening up at the Scarabs, pushing them off Objective 4. Ultramarines have stayed still just in case number 6 comes up. The Land Raider has moved back and round with its las cannons to bear. I think I'm going to put the fire in here rather than anywhere else, to be honest. I think I'm going to need to take out those guys with the coils because they're horrible. The whip curl things. The Grey Hunters have moved forward and ran, but they only managed to run 1 inch. Wind them a bit close to Objective 1 this turn. Unfortunately, they didn't. The Wolfrin have moved and ran. The Thunderwolf Cavalry have moved up, hopefully going into assault into these guys with Objective 3. So I can push these guys off and take their objective. And the reserves are on for the Space Wolves. The drop pod has hit in. The Dreadnought has got out and moved round a little bit just so we can get some cover this turn. But I'm looking at hopefully taking him in here, joining him up with the Thunderwolves and the Wolfrin and destroying this side of the board. Let's go shoot some stuff. The Grey Hunters and Combined Fire of the 3 Ultramarines hiding behind the Administratum building opened up at the Scarabs, doing 1 wound. Knife fighting is in play, so these guys have got like a 1-up in 1 save at the moment. It's really annoying. So managed to do 1 wound on there. The las cannons from the Land Raider opened up, doing 1 wound on the Wraiths. Wish I could have done a bit more there. And the only other thing to shoot is the bolters from the drop pod opened up at the Tomb Blades, doing no wounds whatsoever. So it's going to be over to assault. Can the Thunderwolf Cavalry make their way into the Necron lines? The Thunderwolf Cavalry made it into combat, pulling down one of the Tomb Blades with their Hammer of Wrath. The Thunderwolf Cavalry guy with the Thunder Hammer swung wildly. He hit twice, and then I rolled a Snake Eyes. So he only needed 2 ups to kill, and I rolled Snake Eyes. Brilliant. Well done, dude. Herald Deathwolf, however, he managed to kill off another 2. The Necrons managed to save 3 of the hits. So we are still in combat. We are locked in. They are going to get support from the Dreadnought next turn, and hopefully the Wolfrin as well will be coming in. So in that turn, for the Space Wolves, I score a grand total of nothing. So the two new objectives for the Necrons this turn, we have Blood and Guts, which is scoring victory points if an enemy unit is completely destroyed during the assault phase. And we also have Slaughter the Living, 1 victory point at the end of your turn if at least one enemy unit was completely destroyed. So, with all that in mind, the Doom Arc has moved around. It's going to fire at something. I'm not entirely sure what yet. Necron Warriors have stayed still. This Doom Arc has stayed still. Round here, the Immortals have moved up, securing them objective 3. They've really hunkered down on that. They've got a couple of shots off at the Dreadnought. Obviously, these guys are all in combat. The Necron Warlord has moved round. He's eyeing up the Wolfrin, but they now have cover from the Night Scythe that has come on as part of the reserves, dropping off the Necron Warriors onto objective 1. Again, lots of shots, snapshots admittedly, but a lot of shots on my Wolfrin, expecting them to probably die this turn, which is the second battle they've been in, and both battles they've done nothing, so yeah, brilliant. These guys here have moved up. They're looking at taking on the Grey Hunters. The second Night Scythe has come on. Again, looking at putting some shots on down here, maybe at the Land Raider, maybe at the Grey Hunters. And finally, my favourite things in the entire world, the Scarabs have moved around. They're looking at hassling and tying up the other Grey Hunter squad in combat. The Doomsday Arc right down the other side of the battlefield opened up at the Grey Hunters, killing off 4 in the resulting explosion. Bit of a dent taken out of that squad, especially as they're going to be going into combat here. It's quite nasty. Literally, everything else, all of this lot, the Warlord, the Night Scythe, the Warriors, all opened up at the Wolfring, doing 1 wound. I'll take it back. The Wolfring might actually do something in this game. Everything else that could shoot opened up at the drop pod and taken off 2 hull points. So we had a broadside from this Doomsday Arc, and these guys actually, the other Warrior squad, opened up at it. Yeah, taking off 2 hull points. So at the moment, the Necrons have killed nothing at all. So it's going to be over to Necron's assault. Scarabs made it into combat with the Grey Hunters, climbing and crawling all over their armour. Managed to kill off 1 of the Grey Hunters, but managed to destroy 3 of the Necron bases in return. So it's drawn combat because these guys are fearless. So hopefully another round of combat and they will be clear. The Wraiths made it into combat, killing off like 4 of the Grey Hunters, 5 of the Grey Hunters, but 2 survive, including the Sergeant with the Power Fist, who smashed one of the Wraiths in the face and destroying it. So, and they passed a morale check as well, which is really handy. So they are tied up in combat. I think the Terminators might be joining them next turn. And final piece of combat down here was the Thunderwolf Cavalry against the Tombblades. Went really well for me. The Thunderhammer just smashed them in the face and killed them straight off. So these guys are now free. Looking at the Immortals on Objective 3. So at the end of the turn for the Necrons, they hold Objective 1, which they've got 2 cards. And they've also got Capture and Reclaim. So they were wanted all of the odd numbers, which they do now, which is D3 victory points. Oh, so he gets 3 extra, so that's 5 this turn. So I've dropped Big Game Hunter this turn. I've kept Assassinate. There are 2 characters on the board. Secure Objective 4, Secure Objective 3, Secure Objective 1, and Stuff of Sagas. So I need to kill off an enemy vehicle using a Space Wolf character to get me D3 victory points. With all my objectives in mind, these guys are obviously locked in combat. I could really do with freeing them up to get onto Objective 4, but that won't be this turn. Ultramarines have stayed still. The Land Raiders stayed still, but the Terminators are out. They are looking at joining in and getting rid of the Wraiths. The Wolfrin are looking at going into the Necron Warriors and pulling them off Objective 1. And really the only other 2 things to move are the Thunderwolf Cavalry and the Dreadnought. So the Thunderwolf Cavalry have moved up and around. They're looking going into the Immortals. The Dreadnought, it's like a 9-inch charge to join them in combat there. It's a long old charge. I have slightly angled him to get his shield save against any fire coming from down this side of the battlefield. Space Wolf Land Raider opened up at the Night Scythe, taking it down 2 hull points. Decided not to jink. It did cost him in the end. He's almost gone. That really was the only thing to shoot. And then we went straight into Assault. The Grey Hunters down here with the Ultramarines captain destroyed the Scarabs and have made their way up to Objective 4. Just not enough to score it this turn. Down here with the Wraiths, the Terminator's gone out of the Land Raider, charged in to help out their brothers. Unfortunately, I lost one of my Terminators in that combat and did only one wound to the Necrons back there. So we are drawn combat and it goes on. Probably have tied my Terminators up now all game. Down here, the Wolfrin, however, went into the squad of Necron warriors and just basically murdered them and sliced them apart. Now they are securing me Objective 1, so I'm finally on with a victory point. And the last thing in combat was Herod Deathwolf and the Thunderwolf Cavalry guy. I lost the Thunderwolf Cavalry guy to Overwatch shots, 2 wounds, and I failed to make my 2-3 up save, so he died horribly. Herod Deathwolf also took a wound in combat, but I managed to kill 4 off in the combat phase, but they are held and they are all good. The Dreadnought did not join them into combat. Objectives for the Necrons this turn. We have got 2 new ones. So we have got Code of Combat, score and victory point at the end of your turn if you issue a challenge, and secure Objective 2, which is in the middle of the board. So with that in mind, the Necron warriors are out of their cover. They're looking at running this turn and heading down towards Objective 2. This Doom thing of horribleness has moved round or shimmied round to face off against the Dreadnought. The 2 Night Scythe Flyers have also lined up against the Dreadnought. I think these Necrons want this Dreadnought dead. The HQ and the Warlord for the Necrons is looking at joining into the combat with Herald Deathwolf and issuing a challenge. So that's going to get quite messy down there. Everything else is locked in combat, really. So we're going to head over to the shooting. I expect a dead Dreadnought and the Necron Warriors to have ran. As expected, the Necron Warriors have ran forward 1 inch. So they're a little bit closer, but nowhere near where they want to be. This stupid Doomsday Arc thing opened up right the way down here at the Grey Hunters, killing off 4. Managed to look out Sir Ultramarines captain. Surprised the Space Wolves managed to stand up for their Ultramarines brothers rather than just let him take it in the face. But there's 2 left, so those guys need to rally. And then basically the side guns from the Doomsday Arc open up at the drop pod, taking off its remaining hull point. And then the Night Scythes opened up at my Dreadnought, taking off all of its hull points. So that has gone as well. So nice bit of a distraction in the back of the battlefield, pulling everything up this way of the board because they're scared of the Dreadnought. Just wish you'd have actually got into combat and done some damage. So we're going to be heading into Assault now for the Necrons. We've got this little fight going on down here, and also the Wraiths and the Terminators to sort out. So first off, the Ultramarine and the 1 remaining Grey Hunter failed their morale check. They've fallen back 9 inches, heading back towards the other Ultramarine brothers. I've watched the Grey Hunters take an absolute pounding. They've also watched the Terminators fall in combat. I managed to pull down one of the Wraiths and do 1 wound on another one, but the Terminators were just smashed in the face and killed. A little bit annoying. I think it's time to ignore these now. And the only other thing of note really in this combat phase is that Herald Deathwolf died to the Overlord. His scythe of just horribleness killed him. So yay. So that's Slay the Warlord. So the Necrons have scored 3 more victory points this turn. So Code of Combat, because he issued a challenge with Herald Deathwolf. Sword of the Living, he scored a victory point because he completely destroyed a unit. And Blood and Guts, because he scored 1 for that one, as he killed 2 units in Assault and not 3. to get the D3. But it's another 3 victory points for the Necrons. They're really racking up the points now. The Space Wolves really need to turn this round. Objectives this turn, I've removed, discarded Series of the Saga because I've got no characters left, and pulled out Unleash the Wolves. So I'm going to need to kill something off in my assault phase to get a victory point. Still got Assassinate, I've still got Secure Objective 4 and Secure Objective 3. Secure Objective 4, the guys that rallied and the other set of Ultramarines have moved out. They have ran. They're looking towards Objective 4. Now, I know they're going to get a large blast on their head, but I'm hoping they'll survive and then take me into Objective 4. The Land Raider has moved round. The idea is targeting some of these flyers, and the Wolfrin have ran. They are looking at going into the Immortals, taking them out. The Land Raider opened up at the Night Scythe, taking off a hull point. The Heavy Bolters opened up at the other one, trying to take off this last remaining hull point. No damage done. In combat, the Wolfrin made it in to the Immortals, wiping them all out, scoring me a victory point, and they're also holding Objective 3. Down here, the inevitable happened. The Wraiths completely and utterly destroyed the 2 remaining Grey Hunters that were down here, so they are free again. But on to victory points. I score 3 this turn, so I got Assassinate because I killed an enemy character, which was with the Immortals. Then Unleash the Wolves, 1 victory point at the end of your turn if you completely destroy an enemy unit during the assault phase. And Secure Objective 3, which the Wolfrun are doing. So I'm now up to 4 victory points. The 2 new objectives for this turn for the Necrons are Big Game Hunter and Psychological Warfare. So they're going to make a unit fall back and destroy a vehicle. So with that all in mind, these guys, the Dark Doom Siren stayed still, but this Doom Arc has moved round, it's rotated round, looking at the Land Raider, but then again it's also got the Wraiths in there as well. So I think we can say goodbye to the Land Raider this turn. The Overlord has moved up. He's looking at going into assault with the Wolfrin. Will he manage to kill them off, or will the Wolfrin do the damage? The Necron Warriors are slowly making their way up. They rolled a 2 on their run move, so they're pretty useless. And this Doom Arc has stayed still. It's going to land its big template slap bang on these guys. And the Necron Flyers have flown off the board. They're going to be doing a big circling move out of the field of battle to come on next turn. As expected, the Doom Arc opened up with his big blast. I managed to space my Ultramarines out quite well because I managed to kill off 2, but they passed their morale check, so no psychological warfare down here, sir. Hell no. So these guys are still alive. They're looking at going into Objective 4 for me next turn. Big Game Hunter. The Wraiths made it into combat with the Land Raider. No damage. Nothing at all. There was a blast from the Doom Arc in the shooting phase from all the way down that side of the battlefield onto the Land Raider. No damage at all. And the HQ choice made it into combat with the Wolfrin. There was a wound apiece. 1 on my leader, my Wolfrin, and 1 back on the Overlord. So, drawn combat down here. So, for the first turn this game, the Necrons score no victory points. So I've got Secure Objective 4, Secure Objective 2, and Heroes of Fenris. Heroes of Fenris is issue a challenge, basically. Fight in a challenge, get a victory point. And if you have 6 Space Wolf characters fighting in a challenge, you get D3 plus 3 victory points. Quite tasty. I just don't have that many characters left on the board. Anyway, on to movement. The Grey Hunter and the Space Marine Captain have moved up onto Objective 4, securing me that one. The Ultramarines Tactical Squad have moved up and have ran 4 inches heading up towards Objective 2. The Land Raider has done the obvious thing and driven off from the Wraiths, bringing its guns to bear on this Doom Arc that's been causing me so much trouble this game. And obviously the Wolfrin are still in combat, so there will be a challenge issued down here. That was quite a successful turn. The Land Raider with its last cannons opened up at the Doom Arc. blowing it sky high. I will take that. That is a big blast template of horribleness out of the way. Over in Assault, yeah, the Overlord has gone. He failed his reanimation protocols. The Wolfrin ripped him apart with their wolf claws. I'll take that. I really will. I said it earlier in the battle, these guys did nothing in the last time they were on the field. They've done quite well today. I think I quite like these guys now. So that is Slay the Warlord for me on a victory point. And it is also Secure Objective 4 and Heroes of Fenris. So this turn I have managed to score 3 victory points. Necron objectives for this turn, we have Big Game Hunter still and still have Secure Objective 2. So with that in mind, the Necron Warriors have moved round, securing them Objective 2 this turn. The 2 Flyers are back on. I think they're looking for revenge at the death of their Warlord, with the Wolfrin in sight and in shot range. And with Big Game Hunter in mind, the Wraiths are scrambling all over the Land Raider and are looking at ripping its armour and blowing this sky high. The Necron Flyers opened up at the Wolfrin, killing off the lead guys. So these from the 13th Company are down to 3. It's a long way into the Necron Warriors. They can do it if they get a lucky run and then a lucky assault roll. They opened up at the Ultramarines, killing off 2, and this guy here failed his morale check and they ran off. However, for the Necrons, their commander decided to get rid of psychological warfare, so they do not score an objective for that this turn. The Land Raider is down 1 hull point and is crew shaken. So it's down a hull point, but it's still 3 left. And so basically now on the objectives, the Necrons score Secure Objective 2. My new objective for this turn is Secure Objective 5, which is right down the other side of the battlefield. We know no more Space Wolves anywhere near it, so that's helpful. So it's all over to Secure Objective 2. So with that in mind, the 1 remaining Ultramarine has rallied. The guys that scored me Objective 4, the Grey Hunter and the Space Marine Captain for the Ultramarines, have come out of the building. They're going to put some shots down onto the Necrons. The Wolfrin have moved and ran. Now I only got a 3-inch run move. I needed a 6 really, because they are 13 inches into charge range. So yeah, that is not going to happen. And obviously this Land Raider will only be snap firing this turn. So I'm going to put some shots into the Wraiths just so if I can pop a couple of them off. The Wolfrin are going to have to go into the Necrons in the next turn. The Ultramarines and the Grey Hunter opened up at the Necron Warriors, doing no damage whatsoever. I'm not going to charge in. I fired up with my bolters rather than my bolt pistols, but yeah, it's a long one. And there's a lot of them. It's difficult. With my Wolfrin not being able to get in there, it's a bit difficult for them this turn. The Land Raider opened up with the 1 las cannon. The Doom thing down here, no damage whatsoever. The las cannons and the heavy bolters opened up at the Wraiths, and the heavy bolter managed to pull 1 down. So we're down to 3 remaining Wraiths, but unfortunately I have not scored any victory points this turn. The only objective left now for the Necrons this turn is Big Game Hunter. Kind of thinking this guy's going to be opening up with his big template at the Land Raider. The Wraiths have left it alone. They're really fearing the Wolfrin and the damage that they can do, so they're going to go into combat with those guys. The Flyers and the Necron Warriors have all moved forward. Apparently, the presence of the Ultramarine Captain on this battlefield is really starting to offend the Necrons, so they want him dead. He's facing quite a lot of firepower coming down at these guys. Now, if he survives, that's quite funny. I kind of want him a Wolfrin free so they can move, run and assault, kill these guys off and claim Objective 2 with these guys backing them up. But unfortunately, I think the Wolfrin are going to be pulled down in combat by the Wraiths and these guys might die. This might be the end of the Space Wolves. It all depends on the dice guards and if they favour the Necrons or if they favour the Space Wolves. The Necrons opened up the remaining Ultramarines and the Grey Hunter, determined to kill off the Space Marine captain. They also put some shots down on this little guy here, the one remaining Ultramarine from the tactical squad who survived. All of the firepower from the Necron Flyers and the Necron Warriors. The Space Marine captain took a wound. The Grey Hunter was killed, but the captain is alive. He is literally screaming out of his mask through the grill at these Necrons. He is going to murder them. The Doom arc thing opened up at the Land Raider, doing no damage or whatsoever. The sad news of this turn is that the Wolfrin are gone. They went down in close combat, the three remaining guys. However, they did manage to pull down one in their hits and then do a wound on the other one. But with Death Frenzy, so as they are dying, they get to basically throw all their attack dice again. I pulled down another one, so the Wraiths are down to one remaining. I don't think the Necrons are happy about this Death Frenzy. So the only objective left for me this turn is Secure Objective 2, which is where that big blob of Necrons were. So the Ultramarines opened fire and then ran into combat, killing off 2 Necrons with no wounds done back. They managed to pass their leadership though, so the Necrons are okay this turn. I'm hoping to kill them all off next turn and then go get Objective 2, because it's not actually that far away. The Land Raider opened up at the 2 Flyers, doing no damage whatsoever. I was kind of hoping with 2 hull points left and 1 hull point left, I might be able to destroy them and make them fall onto the Necrons before I went into combat, but that was not to be. We head over to turn 7. So again, Big Game Hunter is the prize for the Necrons. No damage to the Land Raider. It did take a blast from the Doom Arc, but it had a cover save, which I managed to save. Bless the ruins of the God Emperor. Got in the way of the blast. The Wraith went into combat with it. No damage there. On good news for the Necrons, the Ultramarines captain and the one remaining Ultramarine have fallen in combat. I did kill another Necron off. They've consolidated back 4 inches onto Objective 2, so I need to move them off for my Land Raider to take Objective 2. This is going to be tough. The Land Raider has gone for it. It went 12 inches. Opened up, power of the Machine Spirit and the Heavy Bolters at the Necrons, killing off 1. Unfortunately, the Las Cannons and the Storm Bolter on the top did no damage whatsoever. Just outside 3 inches of this objective. And to be honest, Necrons are all over it and our objective secured anyway. So that is the end of the Space Wolves turn 7. I do not get the extra victory point for Objective 2. So there we go then, guys. That is the end of the game. It is a victory for the Necrons. 14-7 on victory points. It was a bloody affair. There's not much left. Literally have got a Land Raider left on the board with 3 hull points. The Necrons have got 2 Flyers that are taking a lot of damage. A Necron Warrior squad, a Wraith, and the Doom Arc right at the back of the board. That was quite good fun. I thought it would be a lot messier from that. I didn't think the Space Wolves would perform as well. I don't think some of the objectives helped the Wolves there, and the Necrons definitely got lucky with, I think there was 3 turns where they scored 3 victory points on all of them. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. Please leave us a like. It does really help out the channel. Leave us a comment. It'd be great to hear your feedback. It's nice to have the Necrons back on Geeks 40k. And why not subscribe and set up alerts, so as soon as we load up a video, you'll get notification about it and be able to watch it straight away. Sounds fun. And as always, guys, we will see you on the next one.